Robin's with you in the afternoons.
This is Robin with you, but I am not alone. It is Wellness Wednesday, and I am joined by Jane Ehrman of Images of Wellness. Hey, Jane, how you doing?
I'm well. How about you, Robin?
Oh, good. It's a good day despite the grayness. Now, we've been talking a lot lately about the upcoming holidays, how we can move through them with less stress and more positivity, the way it's supposed to be. And stressful things like self-care, feeling the blues at the holidays, and a lot of people are thinking about, what to talk about around the holiday table. Lots of touchy subjects these days. What help can you share with us? Because I think in about a week and a half, 2 weeks from now, a lot of us are going to need that.
Absolutely. Well, Robin, let's start with self-care. You have to take care of yourself so you can help other people. But many of us are coming into these holidays already stressed out and fatigued. Then there's the pressure of how many events you're going to attend and the entertaining you might be doing for family and friends, the cooking and baking and decorating and cleaning frenzy, all of that stuff that needs to be done.
So much.
So here are some tips for self-care. First of all, ask yourself, are you being realistic about your holiday expectations? That's the first step, is managing the holiday stress, is write down what do you expect from yourself and what do you expect from your family. Too often we get into this perfection thing, wanting to make it just like it was when you were a kid, or getting the perfect gifts, all these unrealistic things, and all the planning and prep that takes place for entertaining. So review the holiday schedule of events. Are there too many? If so, which ones are you going to choose to go to? Don't overschedule. What can you delegate to other people? Make time and space for yourself to just chill.
Right. We so need that.
Yeah,
and sometimes our childhood memories, we only saw it from the eyes of a child. We didn't see it from behind the scenes.
And you got that right.
Yeah. So there was a lot of stress probably happening behind the scenes, or, maybe it just seemed magical because we were a kid. Maybe
Right.
It wasn't so spectacular and over the top.
Well, you woke up and there was all this stuff. You have no idea of the backup plans of what had to happen for that to be a reality.
Pinterest and influencers did not exist at the time.
No, they didn't. The other thing is to get adequate sleep. And I don't know about you, Robin, but I have this tendency to be on a roll with chores. All right, I'll quit when I get this done. Then I look over and see this other thing. Well, I'll do that, and then I'll quit after that. And before I know it, I'm going to power through until it all gets done, no matter how long it takes. And I've gotten myself sick to the point where Christmas Eve, I'm sick as a dog because I didn't manage that well. So it isn't always a good idea. Take some breaks, even 5-10 minutes to sit, breathe, drink some water, stretch in between different projects. And again, delegate. Pick and choose what events and gatherings you're going to go to. And for the ones you're not going to go to, let them know ahead of time. And say, I have too many things going on. I hope you understand. Or say, thank you for understanding. What can somebody say after that?
Right.
Thank you. Avoid starving yourself. This is a time where there are certain foods in our cultures that we're just waiting all year to eat, or certain desserts or whatever. And too often people think, well, I'm not going to eat all day so that, I can enjoy myself. But what happens is we end up so hungry that we eat way too much. And by the time we think, okay, I'm full, half an hour later, we feel sick because we're overly full. It takes almost a half an hour for our brain and stomach to get the messages to each other. So be careful about that, and overeating and overdrinking, especially alcoholic beverages. And the other thing about these holidays, if you have some time off, get some exercise in. Go for a walk, stretch, cycling, hiking, dance. Move. It's hard to be uptight after a good walk or dancing, right?
Absolutely. Well, I'm talking with Jane Ehrman of imagesofwellness.com. We're talking about holiday stress, how to make the best of it, how to make the best of ourselves, all those good things that come with the holidays. Jane, do you have any suggestions for good conversation starters around the holiday table or for any of our social gatherings, especially when so many of us are going to be in how do you say, mixed company?
Mixed company, and because of the things that have happened in our country over this last week and a half or two, people are stressed and they come to the table sometimes ready for bear, and it's not a good idea. So that is a great question. Here's how to avoid that awkward silence. And you may not know how to get that conversation rolling, but it's really about engaging people, having them share their ideas or memories or experiences. You want to have something that sets a good tone and creates a positive, upbeat atmosphere. So here are some things you can do. You can have these questions. Maybe you have them typed out on a piece of paper, and there's one at every table seat. And you say, Fred, we're going to start with you, or whatever.
So how about the election, huh?
Oh, I think probably not. Probably not a good idea.
No.
What would you like to learn in the upcoming year?
Ooh.
Briefly. We don't need a
dissertation.
Thesis about it. Yeah, exactly. What is a favorite food you've tried lately? Or what is a food you'd like to try? And then let people all kind of, and be careful. Sometimes you have the same person always starting up, and it kind of sets the tone. So whoever has, maybe you pass a tennis ball around, and whoever
Sure.
has that, right? Do you like surprises, or do you like knowing what you're getting for a gift? That's another question. Another one is, what is your favorite holiday traditions? And maybe what were some when you were growing up? What are some of the new ones you have now with your family?
Oh, and everyone likes sharing those.
Yeah. And if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? Mm-hmm. And what is a skill or a sport you have always wanted to learn? I've always wanted to go skydiving. Mm-hmm. It's not, my mother said, you can go when I die. Well, by then I've had all kinds of responsibilities. I'm not
I
going to
think
go
you should do
skydiving.
it, Jane.
I have to
Just
think about
do
it.
it.
Anyway, did anything unexpected happen that you're grateful for this year, that you're grateful for? That's important.
Focus on the positive.
Yeah. And would you rather celebrate the holidays in a warm tropical climate or cold wintry climate, and why? So these are some questions, and it might trigger some other good questions that you might want to ask. If someone brings up an uncomfortable or controversial topic that creates, you could tell the tension right away in people's faces, right? You might say, instead of talking about that, let's focus on the goodness and the meaning of this holiday and time with family and friends. Thanks for understanding.
That's such a great idea, because while we want to encourage conversation and understanding about those tricky conversations, the holiday table just really kind of isn't the place.
Yes.
Find a better time and place, and then encourage the conversation. But what about those holiday blues? So many of us are dealing with significant changes in our lives.
Yes, this isn't a holly jolly time for many of us, and all of us to some degree may be challenged by some grief and loss. And so it's especially difficult around the holidays, whether it's the first holiday or one of many holidays where you're experiencing some of this. We experience grief and loss for a lot of reasons. It's not just when someone dies. Some important people in our lives may not be with us because of distance or broken relationships. And we grieve when there are life changes like illness or job loss, financial problems, holidays being just different than they were when you were a child. Sometimes there are unresolved family issues about politics and religion, or painful childhoods, or past hurts. And given all that, it can be difficult to feel that holiday cheer. So here are some ways to navigate grief and loss. Some choose time away from the normal holiday routine, like going someplace new or different with a family member or friend, so you can create some new memories. So it isn't being steeped in a place where there are all these memories of the past that are no longer part of you.
Mm-hmm. Starting fresh.
Yeah. Allowing the person grieving to spend their time in ways that work for them. So it isn't always a good idea to say, oh, you can't be alone. You have to be with us. Let that person choose how they want to do this. Some do prefer alone time, and it's okay. Let them know they're welcome to join in, and give them permission to spend the holidays as they wish. And remember, there's no timeline for how long somebody grieves. It's inappropriate to say, well, so-and-so's been gone for over a year now, or that was years ago. It really is different every day, that loss. It's a process, and you can be doing really well, and an old memory or a song on the radio And something triggers those feelings of loss, and there you go. The tears start, you feel choked up.
Right. Well, and you might be doing very well on a day-to-day basis, but something about the holidays just brings things to the surface.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm talking with Jane Ehrman from Images of Wellness about ways to combat those holiday blues we might have. What else have you got for us, Jane? What are some other ideas?
You know, it can be really beneficial and healing to volunteer your time and help others in need. Mm-hmm. Maybe help at a soup kitchen or adopt a person or family and provide them some presents and holiday food. You can check with different agencies about that, or care centers, or the cancer center at the hospital, things like that. Mm-hmm. Visit people in nursing homes. You might want to wear a mask because they're vulnerable at getting sick, but to go and sing some songs or just say hi is really helpful. Many of them are alone. Mm-hmm. To help ease grief, accept your feelings. Now, don't stuff them down. Don't ignore them. Accept your feelings of sadness and loss. Say them out loud. Acknowledge them, and that takes some of the pressure of them out. Focus on being grateful for the good memories you have. Hold the love and that specialness of that person in your heart. Let go of that holding on to that clinging of, but they're gone and I miss them and I'm lonely and if only this, and that's just not helpful. That's an important thing to remember. Some people feel uncomfortable bringing up a person's name or memories of a person once they're gone because they think, it's going to make the family member feel bad. And the truth is, it actually helps that person feel better because it means that person is alive in our hearts.
And reminds them that they were important to others as well. And that they're not alone in their grief also.
Exactly. So it's kind of bittersweet, but acknowledge the bitterness about it and then move to the sweet.
Right. Well, these are all great suggestions for how we can go through our holidays more calmly and enjoy them. Any parting words on how to make it through these holidays that can be such stressful times for some of us?
Robin, remember to clarify your expectations for the holidays. Be clear and realistic. Then create a good plan for yourself. Make time and space for self-care and meeting your needs. Be gentle with yourself and others who are going through difficult times during these holidays. In the next session, we're going to talk about Thanksgiving and the power and healing gifts of gratitude.
Oh, nice. That'll be perfect. What perfect timing for that as well. Well, Jane, as always, thank you so much for joining me. It's always great to have a little healthy dose of wellness on a Wednesday.
Thank you, Robin.
99.3 The Vine.
Let's celebrate wine country living.